How's it going, everyone? Liam Catterson here, and we're on episode 1 of Season 2 of the 100, with the 48, which is very, very worrying, but I'm expecting those are the remaining numbers of the 100 after the big fiery battle against the Grounders. War's not pretty, and you're expecting a big chunk of losses, especially with how dangerous the Grounders are. So maybe that's what the 48 is referring to. Now there's 48. After there was 81 before the battle started. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, especially now that we've got new. It kind of feels like a really, really good, setup for a new season. You've got Abby and Kane on the ground now, with Jaha being the only one to be on the Ark and being left for dead after making that call. Everyone from the 100 is now at Mount Weather, which, like I said in the last episode, there's a lot of questions going on there, including Anya as well. Anya, the last of her kind of guess, considering the fact that every other grounder was burnt to ashes with potentially Finn and Bellamy. Who knows? They could have been anyone's skeletons, but, the moment they were left behind, it wasn't looking too good, was it? So yeah. But I'm really looking forward to seeing, what goes on with Season 2, especially with, the 48 now, with Abby and Kane. It's all looking interesting. So with that said, let's just get the show on the road. Extended reaction will be on Patreon, of course. And yeah, let's start the 100 Season 2. Let's go. Van Gogh's paintings are always beautiful, okay? Has Monty been moved or something? Oh, no. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Clarke's just not having it. But to be fair... Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's a big one. I was going to say I had a feeling she would, cut herself. Oh, Clarke's just going for it.
How many of us are here? Where are they? Say something!
I mean, you're putting a lot of pressure on that, girl. She's obviously worried she could die. She's obviously scared. Are they the others? Containment breaches are always good. He's alive! Yes! Of course Bellamy wasn't gonna die.
No!
Well, you're a bag of delights, aren't you?
That's one. I lost 300.
Oh, ain't it a bitch? Well, you shouldn't be dickheads then. Wait, is that Tristan person?
Drink. You're lucky.
Oh, well, yeah, you can see the freaking scorch marks.
You alive.
We are not going back to your village. You know what they do to traitors.
Octavia.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Every single member
gee.
of your clan will take a turn stabbing you. And then they'll feed you to
Going
the
for
bugs.
oh, damn.
That's what you told me.
Going for the watch treatment.
I will be right back.
Lincoln, where are you going?
The antidote. It comes from the beetles that feed on the river moss. You're gonna feed on the beetles.
Okay. As long as Octavia is alive and well, then that's all great. This is gonna be someone harmless, isn't it? Bellamy.
No, it's okay.
No, shoot him!
It's okay, Raven.
Shoot him!
Don't shoot.
Shoot him!
Why not? You shot me.
Exactamundo, so... An eye for an eye. Oh, that last bullet was...
You were the next one to be cleared through quarantine. Another 10 minutes and you would have...
Oh, so they were clearing Monty, I guess.
Thank you, Maya. You can get your treatment now.
Okay, let's go.
To be fair, you're not really explaining anything to Clarke. You're just putting her in a cell like she's a prisoner. I mean, they could have had a recording, if anything, saying we collected you from a potential radioactive zone, so you're going to stay here until we clear you. Just not wanting to be here any longer.
Natural selection works. The grounders who couldn't survive in the radiation didn't. Those who could passed on their DNA. For better or for worse, here we never went through that process.
Well, neither did we.
So they didn't take that risk, whereas the grounders had to.
Solar radiation.
Very good. Your DNA ran the same gauntlet as the grounders. Only because radiation levels in space are even higher, your ability to metabolize that radiation is even stronger. First, give me the heel.
Oh, that son of a bitch! He knew.
You're not fighting for your life anymore, Clarke. You've made it. Welcome to Mount Weather.
Finally made it after one season. Oh! Oh! Poor Finn had to, Finn had to suffer the brunt of that. Being dragged along. Oh no! Oh boy!
I know what we have to do.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Just hold on.
Oh! Oh! Whoa! 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 No! Go! I would be shitting it too if I was Octavia. This is the first time they can have proper food, really.
Yes? Nah, you won't like it. The pie's way better. You have to try the chocolate cake.
Wow! I love this! I love this! These two are just the special type.
They gave us a map with no exits. I need you to tell me everything you've seen. Every room, every hallway.
So adamant on escape.
Yeah. When you pulled that lever, you saved lives. Don't throw that away by pulling this one.
See how much this like means to Jasper. Like he wants everyone to have a better tomorrow. Clarke's just not back. Understandable, because some things are too good to be true, but
Bill's medicine, that turns out wouldn't help anyway. Gets floated for it, and
His mother, she starts drinking.
oh no.
After is that he killed his father.
Yeah. Oh boy. And he's lived with that, but I can't excuse what he's done, but it's pretty shitty what he's had to contend with. Oh, you didn't see that coming, did you? Okay, I think the one to the chest was... Who was that? Aye! Let's do this!
I don't know where she is.
But hey, at least you made it to the ground. So... You're still closer to her than... Oof.
I got shot. I got shot.
Oh, you're
Uh-oh.
you're alive.
Oh! Boy, here we go!
Stop!
Here we go!
Understand. Murphy murdered 2 of our people. He shot another when he tried to hang Bellamy.
I don't care. You are
Well,
not
everyone tried to... I
animals.
was gonna say, everyone tried to hang
The
Murphy
rules.
as well.
Laws. You are not in control here anymore.
That hurts. That's gonna hurt for Bellamy.
Catch me. Stay alive. Stay quiet.
Don't breathe. I don't care how vital it is to survival. Don't. Nah, just love how Lincoln always, except for Octavia.
Open the doors. Within a week, 54 people were dead from the exposure. My mother and sister among them.
Okay, who's my secret admirer? Kidding. Oh yeah, that would be disturbing. See, I think Dante is an... Aww. I have trust issues, but Dante's in my good books from now on.
So your idea? Yes, sir.
Camp Jaha, oh my god.
It's a good idea. Have we heard from him?
Good on you, Sinclair.
Yes, sir.
Good on you, Sinclair.
Still radio silence.
I think it's best to accept that.
Well, you better brief me then.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chancellor.
Oh, that's poetic. That's the last shot before. Oh, Jaha. Baby. Someone left a baby. Oh my. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. So it seems like Jaha is not out of the woods by a long shot. Which is funny because I thought the season 1 finale, basically told us that that was it for Jaha. But, there's a lot of questions going on. Like, is Jaha going to, let the baby die or something like that? Or maybe it might be down to the fact that it might be an imaginary thing. Maybe it's like baby Wells or something like that because, maybe it's hallucinations playing up because he's, running on a lack of oxygen. But let's say it's real. Like, what the hell's going to happen there? Like, is he going to let the baby die? Or is he going to have to find some way to, get himself to Earth? Because that's going to be a bit of a struggle if the baby is real, considering, he had to be left behind. In order for... That would have been absolutely poop if everything went according to plan. The baby would just be left on the Ark to die. That's grim. That is really, really grim. Yeah, that was a really, really good opener for season 2 of The 100. I really loved how, we saw... We were introduced to Mount Weather and a couple of key people, Dante especially, seemingly the leader of the residents at Mount Weather. Whether you want to, trust in him and believe him, I do hold doubt in that because of the fact that, so when he said his men couldn't look for any other survivors, Bellamy and Finn, in this case, I guess, for Clarke's perspective, he kept shutting down Clarke's hopes, saying they couldn't find anyone. It could be the fact that they, didn't look hard enough. But the problem is, the Ark is not, like the remnants of the Ark on the ground, is not a needle in a haystack. So, I have a feeling that, he's holding Clarke back. So Clarke doesn't go off on her own adventures and all that, and you can understand why if his story holds weight, because he did mention about the fact that, his, he was basically like the 100, thought they were the only people left on Earth, encountered grounders, went to explore the outside, and a bunch of people ended up being offed by the radiation, which I guess is a bit more recent. So not just that though, but their bodies aren't. They haven't manifested the radiation, unlike the 100 and the grounders, I guess, who did survive, because he did talk about how there was a bunch of grounders who ended up dying, and some passed off the radiation that, you know, manifested into their bodies onto their others. So, yeah, I can't really blame him because he doesn't want, you know, things to get too chaotic and, you know, we end up having an outbreak of potential death and all that. So, yeah, I can't really blame him, but at the same time, I can't really blame Clarke for doing what she is doing. Like, not just breaking out, like, well, not just going into a whole psychotic rage against Maya, who I know I've seen her face before, but it can't click for me. So I couldn't make assumptions that, unlike, you know, Jai Ying from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's like, oh, is that Jai Ying? I've seen her face before, but I can't, you know, remember where from, so that's great. But yeah, I can't blame Clarke for going off into a whole psychotic rage at first, because of the fact that she was being treated like a prisoner. Nobody thought to have left a message saying, or like even a written message, like he was able to give her a message in terms of a gift with that, you know, art set, which was a lovely gesture, don't get me wrong, but why could he not do that when, you know, Clarke woke up from her cell saying, we found you on the ground, you could be infected with radiation, so for your own, for yours and ours own safety, we're going to keep you here, please do not freak out, etc., etc. You get the idea. They could have left a note comforting her, and then this could have been prevented. Her, you know, lashing out at Maya could have been prevented, but yeah. That's my only grasp of the fact that, you know, but not only that, but, you know, Clarke's obviously been a prisoner all of her life on the 100, so this is a bit of a similar situation. I think I even commented about the fact that she ended up in a room, like the start of the season was basically the end of the season for Clarke, being in a room, locked down and all that kind of stuff, so, it kind of plays on here, where she's being treated like a prisoner, like there's no freedom, and she's being confined to one area and all that, so, yeah, she wants to do good as well in, it's that seeing is believing aspect, isn't it? But, I can't really blame Clarke, but also, I mean, we're not going to jump to assumptions. It could turn out that this guy is a really decent guy. Or maybe there is a rogue faction going on behind his back and they're just not wanting to look for any survivors because it's like, well, if we're not going to share our food with, you know, radioactive freaks or whatever, I guess, it would be the imagination. So, yeah, but I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I think this guy is pretty okay. Some things do sound off, but, we'll come to that, you know, conclusion if he turns out to be a pain in the ass. We'll just have to wait and see. There's one thing for certain, they're gonna have to, like the 48, I guess now, I'm gonna have to reunite with Kane, with Abby, especially with that Clarke-Abby reunion, everyone. But there has to be something, there has to be an event that causes them to leave Mount Weather because they can't escape. So, something's got to go down, especially with Dante. Like, he is potentially going to be a piece of work. But until we cross that bridge, we're not going to make any assumptions. The guy is decent. Although I do think there is some kind of, like, I wouldn't say brainwashing, but he is trying to make this a more hospital area so people can, you know, have a happy time here and never want to leave. It's that restriction. Offer us so much to anyone that seems heavenly and make sure they don't leave. And like I said, I think it all plays on to, you know, Dante's worries about the radiation and all that. So, you can't exactly blame him. But I think with the really, really delicious food and everything and the comfortable environment, he's making this area an area so comfortable that nobody wants to leave. So yeah, it's that paradise thing as well. So yeah. Going outside of Mount Weather though, although I have to say before we do, you know, go outside, I loved Jasper and Monty bantering it up with their whole cake situation. Those two are just the best together. I love them so much, and I'm glad that's continuing into season 2. But yeah, outside we saw Bellamy and Finn surviving. Woohoo! Until they came, well, no, they didn't die, Liam. But I was gonna say, they did come into contact with Kane, so we've had our first interactions on the ground with, you know, the 100, or the remaining 100, encountering the people on the Ark, which was really, really juicy as well. Considering Kane's message saying, "We're not animals." I really loved that speech when, you know, Bellamy was going for Murphy. Murphy! Let's talk about him. Because everyone knows I am not clicking with him. But he did tell a sympathetic story which, you know, kind of made me feel a bit for him. But it doesn't excuse what he's done. So, just because he's had a really rough childhood with his father trying to do good for him, but ended up being floated and his mother putting the blame on him. I mean, like I said, it doesn't excuse, you know, what he's done, because, you know, there's been similar situations going on the Ark in terms of people getting floated for trying to do some good, I guess, and they haven't turned out to be the, you know, the vicious. I mean, if I say monster, I wouldn't say he is a monster, because monsters, I guess, don't have some compassion, and, you know, Murphy has that little bit. He is a murderer, but, you know, it seems like everything has been eating him up, especially with his past going on, so, yeah. Will he become a better person, though, after, you know, that? Because throughout season 1, he was just doing his best to make sure we hated him. And, you know, I think this was the first time ever that he showed something other than hatred, I guess. Something like with that compassion and the fact that he did cry. So I'm wondering if, you know, he's going to have a bit more of a lighter tone to, you know, his story, perhaps, who knows, but I don't know with him. I have no idea how I'm going to feel with Murphy totally, because, like I said, there's nothing that can excuse what he's done, but he has got some level of emotion other than hatred, so, yeah. Octavia and Lincoln were really, really great as well. Not too, you know, juicy, apart from the fact that Lincoln was, you know, trying to teach Octavia a language, and, you know, Octavia was poisoned, so that's all well and good. I wonder how many people have been poisoned on the show, but, no, it's just, it was just really, really good to see Octavia and Lincoln interacting as well. Lincoln, that, you know, passion with Octavia was really, really nice to see. And, yeah, I think that's really it. It was a really, really good opener. Like I said, it was great to see, you know, the first interactions of the remaining of the, of Bellamy and Finn, Jasper, etc., meeting with Kane and all that. And I'm just thinking, though, how Bellamy is going to take this, especially with Kane's comment about we're in control now. I'm just thinking back to episodes, like the early episodes of season 1 where he was like, you know, they can't control us anymore. And Bellamy's not going to let that go. I mean, he has opened himself up to be a more, sympathetic character, a character we can all get along with now. But he's still probably going to have that belief that, you know, they can't rule over us. And there have been casualties, but I guess now that we know what we're up against, there's bound to be that. So Bellamy's going to have that belief that, well, we've managed to, like, I've managed to survive, and, you know, nobody has any, you know, I wouldn't say nobody has any complaints, because, of course, there's been a lot of stuff going on, but, you know, nobody, like, I've done pretty decent as a leader, I guess, and he has. Like I said, great opener for season 2, Loved how things are set up with especially Jaha and the baby. Is there something really going on? And how did, there's one thing that does, bother me a bit. I get that, Dante got, every bit of information about Clarke, I guess, from the 48 that was collected, but how did he initially know about, who so-and-so is? I guess he asked the first person he could get and then started, jotting down everyone's names, so I'm guessing that, and then the more people he interacted with, the more he got to know, every member, especially Clarke and her artsy skills. But, yeah, it was a really, really great opener, and I can't wait to see where things go, especially with Mount Weather, especially if there's something more shadier with that Dante. But we'll just have to wait and see, because like I say, we can't jump to conclusions, just because, things seem too good to be true. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it is too good to be true, and here we are. So, it can happen. Just because it's too good to be true doesn't mean that there's something off, that there's a catch and all that, all the time. Most times. But maybe there's that one exception. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, until then, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my Meaty Pizza channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!